Good morning, traders. This is Trader Rob. Happy Halloween. Hopefully you guys like the the Halloween theme. Worked on that last night, and I think it came out pretty good. What about those setups? Holy moly. So, unfortunately, I had invalidated this setup yesterday on stream, the ES short at the 69.18. But damn, did they come in strong on volume early this morning. I mean, that was right to the tick. Zero drawdown. I think I said a tick of drawdown, but there was really no tick of drawdown there whatsoever. And the theme continued. So if you guys remember, I ended off the stream yesterday, I think down 260. Ended up the day up 600. Left you guys with that short yesterday. I'm sorry, the long on the ES. And that one played out absolutely perfect to TP1 and TP2. The NQ long setup. I think I got that one over here. That one, well, this NQ short blew through this morning. So that one was no good at the 26.240s. That was early this morning. But this setup down here, I think it was this one. Or is it this one? Or I think it was, where'd it go? This guy hit TP1, TP2 down here that I left you with at the 25.880. So get rid of that guy. Just some really nice setups all the way around. All the way around. And I believe we've got another setup below us on the NQ. That was sitting, not sure why I got this line here. Oh, there was this double setup there. So we still got this setup here at the 25.749 for a long, targeting the 25.753. I also ended up, get rid of this guy. This guy did his job. I also ended up taking an IB trade yesterday on that new funded Tradeify account that I had. I didn't add it to my copier yesterday on the trades, but in the afternoon, I think it was later in the afternoon that IB low hit. Let me see if I can show that one, just so you guys can kind of see what my thinking was there. Let's see. Let me pop this up here. So this was the ES trade that I left you guys with yesterday. That, man, it was just, this one kept bouncing on the TP1, TP2, right at that 68.80 for TP1 and TP2. So that's what got me into the green. Very nice footprint confirmation. Perfect footprint confirmation. Green footprint candle, negative 171 delta. You can't beat that. That was pretty perfect. And then this was the IB low setup that I took. So we got no footprint confirmation to go long once we tapped into the IB low. And then on the retest of the IB low from the downside, I already knew that there was downwards pressure here. Got a great footprint confirmation and took that for 15 points. So that was a really nice trade. Yeah, I think that's what I got from there. Let's pop this guy back. So let's see what we can, let me clean up this ES chart. Man, that's perfect. That's exactly what I like to see. Zero drawdown. That's exactly what I'm looking for. I was not on the chart yet, right at that initial touch. Actually, I think I might have come in right after that. All right, so I think I got the charts pretty cleaned up. I do. All right, now let's start seeing what we could possibly have for today. Scrunch this guy down just a little bit. Now it might be a little hard to see on stream, but bear with me. Let me just see what I can... Well, this is an area just not very clean. I don't like this sweep right here. So you see this sweep, this candle right here? This candle right here swept all the good stuff from this pocket right here of volume and took it to the upside. So this, at this point, unless I could find something like right here, this would be a very and there's not, unfortunately. So delete that guy off. Let's see on the NQ. I'm sorry. Let's see on the chat who was able to take that ES long. I mean, that was an A+ setup. I mean, that was I couldn't talk about that setup more. Wondering who took some profits from that trade. Man, the ES has got nothing to the top and nothing to the immediate bottom. I'd be curious to see what happens here if we get a nice push to the downside. That's what I'd like to see. And then on the NQ, we do have a little pocket here. Sitting right there. Sits really nicely with the volume profile. And let's see if there is any clear setup. It's kind of junky. It's kind of congested. But that is a spot right here, which sits at the 26,254. Now let me see if I can identify any type of entries, or I'm sorry, TPs. So I got a TP sitting right here. I got a TP sitting at 26,248. Get rid of this guy. I got my entry sitting right at the 26,254. I got a stop loss at the 26,260.25. And I've got a TP2 sitting at the 26,245. Load TP. All right, so this is a viable setup right now, sitting on the NQ. So an entry at the 26,254. TP1 at the 26,248. And a TP2 at the 26,245. And a stop at the 26,260.25. I'll leave that one there for you guys just to see it there. A nice little push down on the ES. I would like to see it get down to the 68, 60s or 50s for me to start mapping this little area right here, which we're starting to see some good movement from. All right, so we got some into the downside. Now let's look on the NQ. Let's go back to the NQ. We got this setup here. Remember, short at the 26,254, targeting the 26,248 and the 245. And then to the downside. Okay, strong push. I like it. To the downside, we've got a pocket sitting right here. So starting off at like the 26,054s. I'd like to see this a little higher on the volume profile though. Let me see what I see. Okay, so it is towards the middle chunk of the volume profile. So we could kind of play out that little node right there. Small TP though. What is that? It's only about 5 points, but could get kind of aggressive with, you know what? TP2 should be right there. All right, let me map out an entry here. And the NQs chasing. Got a high volume node right there. And this stop doesn't look fantastic yet. All right, so I think a good entry here would be at the 26.053.50. 26.053.50. Let's load this up. TP1, we're looking at load TP. Looking at the 26.058.50 for target 1. And then target 2. I think we could target the 62s. Round that one up right there. And a stop loss. All right. So the secondary setup for a long on the NQ that I see is a 26.053.50. 26.053.50. Targeting the 26.058.50. And then target 2 would be the 26.062 with the stop sitting at the 26.045. So those are the two setups that I currently see. Let's jump to the 15 so we can kind of see the charts a little bit better. There we go. Okay. All right, so we've got the NQ mapped out pretty nicely. Two setups here. Again, we've got a short looking at the 26.254, targeting the 26.248 and the 245. And then we've got a long at the 26.053, targeting the 26.058 and 062. Nothing yet on the ES. Oh, this is coming pretty quick, huh? Haven't even really been able to see here the... Okay. Yeah, I like this. I like this. You can maybe expect about 3 to 4 points of heat maybe on this NQ setup. After that, I don't see much more defense here. Stealth, good morning. Fluky, good morning. Let's fill it. Man, you've been talking about that gap for about a week now. Doesn't have to do it. Just remember that. Good job, Morgan. Okay, good morning. Spencer, good morning. Buddy17, good morning. Patty, good morning. PWA, why am I not seeing live? We are live. There might be like a 5 or... What you're seeing, I think, is just a countdown. That's just a count. I'm live already, but that's just a countdown for me to... so that people know exactly when the stream is going to be starting. But the delay should be... I don't know. I don't have an exact way to tell you how many seconds the delay might be, but... All right, what else we got? Top Step Randy, good morning. Russell, good morning. Mike, good morning. Patriots, good morning. That was a fun day of trading yesterday in general. A lot of movement early, a lot of movement later on in the day, in the afternoon. So we kind of had that lull towards the last hour of our stream that wasn't the funnest, but it was nice seeing a bunch of setups play out really nicely. So I've been asked a few times, somebody on my, I don't know if it was, I want to say the wrong name, but I was asked on it my Discord this morning to create a video on pretty much my exact like chart setup, and I could do that. And what I'm thinking is I can maybe do one for, or I'll do in the same video, I'll do one for NinjaTrader on how everything that's set up on my charts, and then secondary, I can do one for TradingView, which is going to be a little different. You know, TradingView, their tick data on their volume profiles is a little bit different. Doesn't get as detailed, I guess, but I think it could still do the job. So pretty much including all the tools, all of the settings, like on the footprint charts that I use for order confirmation, all that. So if you think that's a good idea, oh, dang it. Oh no, that was not smart, Rob. Sorry about that. I should lock that. There we go. That was funny. All right, there we go. Cool. So Patty, there's a bunch of just YouTube videos out there that that go into the footprint chart. The way I use it for my confirmation again is very simple. I am looking for, for a confirmation. If I'm going short, let's just say, I want the candle to obviously tap into my line, into my entry, or cross it. And then if I'm looking for a short, I want to see a red footprint candle with positive delta. And the more positive delta that I get, the better. And on the flip side, if I'm taking a long, I want to see a green footprint candle with negative delta, and that is my what I call my footprint confirmation. But yes, maybe a video showing it a little bit more in depth could be of assistance. So again, this morning we've got mapped out on the NQ along at the 26053.50, targeting the 26058.50, and then target 2 26062. And then for a short, we've got a setup sitting at the 26254, targeting the 248 and the 245. So those are the two setups that we've got mapped out. And Billy, that's I appreciate those comments, because it gives me ideas for content. I mean, there's you feel like in all of the videos and all of the streams and the time that I've been putting into the Discord, into YouTube, that a lot of the stuff gets covered, but unless I know from viewers and people who are interested in this style of trading, for content ideas, so keep those coming. All right, so a little consolidation here. Let's see what does the NQ want. So the NQ right now, 26,080s. So right here, this is an area that they're very interested in. And to the top side, kind of light. Kind of light to the top side. Let's see if they tip their hands here as to what they're... and on the ES, I'm kind of just waiting here for... I need some structure to be broken. Let's go to the 15. Maybe it'll be easier to see. You know, this unfortunately... I know this is very... Take this for what it is, for what I'm saying, but we could have had really nice unbalanced volume here. But if you could see how the market just swept all of this unbalanced, they balanced out everything that was sitting here. So setups in this region are going to be very difficult. In fact, I don't see anything right now. The only thing I'm waiting for at this point would be is I'd like to see a strong move, break structure down here that would then allow me to then start looking for an unbalanced setup up here up top that makes sense. So that's what I see on the ES. So unfortunately right now in the ES we don't have much. So most likely this the NQ, they're going to be looking for, you know, this liquidity at the 26,080s. As far as displacing it, I don't really see him anywhere. I don't see really anywhere on my... Well, I guess right here, but it's not the greatest. I don't think it's enough for them to make that kind of a big push, unless today's going to be a low volume day. So they could tap into here, and then they can obviously come right into what I'm hopefully looking for is for them to make their final tap here, and then hopefully open up some areas where they can finish out their auctions. But right now, you know, the most likely spot would be for them to tap into the 26,080s and finish their auction off at the 26,160. That's just what I see. I don't necessarily know that there was a lot of volume sitting at the 087s, besides it being initial IB low, but volume I don't necessarily think has been stacking up there. Unless I missed it. I could have maybe missed it on my level 2. Yeah, Billy Joe, I mean, it's not a secret. Well, I guess maybe it is for a lot of traders, but I think the most successful traders that you see incorporate the volume profile, or they're looking at volume tools, you know, to I was watching, man, what was the guy's name? And I don't want to butcher his name, but I saw a YouTube recommended video came up. Some guy was calling him the best scalper in the world. I guess he had won, or he's won or been like second place in like some ridiculous amount of world champions. Those like trading competitions that they do with real money. Nicholas, maybe is the guy's name. I watched like a 2-hour segment that he was being featured on, and man, did that stuff resonate. It was almost like I was, all right, there you go. There's the tap. So now it's just where do they want to displace to? Right now, it's kind of thin. Kind of thin. I don't know if this is enough for them to make the move to the 26,160s yet. They might want to play in our playground here before they make that move. They tapped right into it, right to the tick. And again, it's just repeatable. It's repeatable. Volume don't lie. All right, so I can take that off. I did what they needed to do there. Now let's see if that was enough for them to close out their auction at the 160. Yeah, they could very easily just sweep all this. It's probably the volume that's sitting right here is probably equivalent to what they just picked up. So I could see them sweeping. That's just what I see. Yeah, I think that's it. Where'd I get Nicholas from? I don't know where I got that name from, but I think you're right. I think that is the guy's name. So last day for Tradeify's 45% off sale runs through today. I picked up a 50K funded account. I think I paid $279 with the discount, which I thought was great. I mean, that's like the best deal that I've seen through Tradeify. Currently, Apex is only at 50% off, so they haven't really done anything crazy. Funding ticks, which I've got 3 funded ticks accounts. Very happy with them. I can tell you firsthand that their payouts are extremely fast, and their portal is by far the best one of all the prop firms that I have personally used. They update in pretty much real time, maybe about an hour delay before your trades show up. And then, but their sale right now, I think, is 35% off for first-time users, 20% off for repeat. And then Take Profit Pro is at, or I'm sorry, Take Profit Trader is at 40% off. So you could use code TraderRob on any of those. That'll be my plug for the day. You guys digging the Halloween vibes? What do you guys got going on for Halloween? We're staying home tonight, so our cul-de-sac here does like a Halloween parade. And so we kind of enjoy that, but we got a nice Halloween party tomorrow. The theme is scary movie theme. So looking forward to that. Just doesn't seem like Halloween is the same as when it was when I was a kid. I don't know, maybe I just put a lot more. I was excited for the candies. Even though my mom wouldn't let me eat the candy that I got going trick-or-treating. She'd be the mom that would take the candy into, at that time, you can get candy x-rayed at a hospital. And literally, I think my mom did that one year. So I was only allowed to eat the candy that I would get from school or the candy that we had at home. Boy, have times changed. Spencer, you're completely right. Yep. I don't know where I got Nicholas from. I don't know if that's maybe a nickname that they had given him, but I could have swore that's the name that I thought I saw, but I could be off. Oh, you probably, Mike. I don't know how big your I don't know how big the family is or who you went with, but that's like a $1,500 day at Disney. Between food, admission, things that we buy for our kids and ourselves, it's gotten to be think I was having a conversation with my kids the other day. You know, they're like, "Well, how did your dad take you guys to Disney?" And my parents always took us to Florida at least once a year. It was just it was always a road trip. We never flew. It was always in the car. But my dad would take us to Florida every single year, and we'd usually stay in like Daytona Beach, Panama City. You know, because his big thing was he wanted like one of those motels with a kitchenette that was on the actual beach. On the first floor, it had to be. But at that time, I mean, a room was like $45, and even Disney was a family of 5 could go for $250, $200, which at that time was a lot of money. I know, but what I see today is just crazy. Nice. Yeah, when me and my wife were dating, we went to Disney by ourselves a few times. It was a lot of fun. Of course, once the kiddos start coming in, that fun gets really expensive really fast. All right, NQ, what do you want to do here? Oh, I guess the 70s. Oh, they've defended the 70s again. There was a move right to the 70s. So, man, nice splash on the 70s there. Let's see what they got going on here now. Getting pretty damn aggressive. This might be a great spot for a resting limit order, to be honest with you. This might come very quick. Very quick. Well, they cleared out a shit ton of volume. Holy moly. So 50s now are defended really well. So right underneath us. I just do not want to see this type of swipe. This could be position building right here for what I said, the ultimate target of the 26 160s. That is definitely in play. Wouldn't be surprised. And again, they pretty much open the same position at the 50s, so they could swipe right back at it before they go into the 160s, which is what I'm hoping for. Still need to see a little bit more push on the ES to the downside. Again, I want to see a break structure down by the pretty much like the 6850s. That's when I would start getting interested in maybe a setup on the top side. I think below us we've got this shaded area right here at the 6829 that I could kind of map out, but I wasn't really thrilled about that, remember, the first time, so I'd have to kind of see how price action develops throughout the day. So the interesting thing now here that I see is we may have a twofer playing out here because, so as I talked about, we've got a shit ton of volume now. It was the same player right here. Now came in right here. I'm going to make this a little smaller. It's right underneath the 53s. It's around the 50s. Okay. So we have the initial IB low set right by our TP2. Obviously, this could change because we still got about 20 minutes for IB to be set. But the interesting play here would be now an IB combo with our setup. So that could very be in play. Very much be in play. That would be interesting to me. But as I mentioned, I mean, I think they had enough to finish off the auction right here at the 26 160s. But they could finish off this guy's position, or this position down here at the 50s. That's a big possibility, but we'll see. $2,400 for 7 nights. Yeah, well, I guess that's not as bad as what for 7 nights. That's not bad. And again, for the ES, just to kind of go over it once more, there's a pocket sitting up here, right here, that I'm interested in. Okay, there's some unbalanced volume here. But I need to see a lot more strength. I need to see at least a push down to the 50s, to the 6850s, for me to even start looking at setups here that would equate to what I would consider an A+ setup. So now if we look back and we kind of, looks like they moved up to the 75s now. Okay. Now they moved up to the 75s right here. And that could definitely mean that this is in play, the 26 160s. That could definitely be in play. I just don't know when. So they're probably going to attack the 75s again. It's interesting. That is interesting. So the 50s still have interest, but so do the 40s. So that is it's one little thing to be concerned about here. Did they tap into the 75s yet? No, they did not. So no surprise to me that the ES, they tapped right back into, you can see the little sweep right there. So they balanced out this volume. So I think they got a pocket right here. We should have a pocket right here. This was pretty clean because this at least broke structure, this move right here. And that's why they tapped right back into it. So I need to, like I said, I need to see a big push down to the 50s. I need to see a push down to right around here. Right around here for me to get interested in this unbalanced volume area. $15 minutes for IB to be set. And for those of you that might be new to the stream, so IB is your initial balance. That's your first hour of the market. So for me, it's 8:30 a.m. Central Time to 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time. It's 9:30 to 10:30. And pretty much on the IB low and the IB high play, my high probability setup is, you know, again, I switch over to my footprint chart on the NQ, and for instance, on an IB low, I would be looking to take a long if I get a footprint confirmation right at the IB. So either on a tap or in a cross, I look for a footprint confirmation, and I'm targeting 15 points with stop, 15 points of take profit. Today's IB, if it stays the way it is right now, is going to be an interesting play because you've got this setup sitting right below us at the 26,053. So there could be a very, very quick extension to tap, which would be about 8 points. Or we could see a tap and go, and then a retest. But their eye on the prize right now is the 26,160s. You know, they've got some intermediate targets at the 120s right now. This is interesting for them. Pretty choppy. Pretty choppy right now. I don't know why the music just stops playing randomly. And as I always say, guys, don't play around in this right here. Do not play around in this right here. You will get wrecked or very lucky. Got a busy weekend this weekend. Obviously, I got the Halloween party tomorrow night. Got to update all my stats for October for the Signal group, all the mechanical strategies. Got to create my video on Sunday with the new tradable levels and the bands. Totally forgot my midweek review. So hopefully people don't torture me on that. Then again, now with the stream, I mean, you guys get to see the setups in real time every single morning. Michael, I did, yes. I got restocked with 2 boxes of 48 pods, so I got enough for about a little more than a month. It's my fuel, man. Okay, I'll be right back. That was a pretty nice power move by the NQ. So again, our entry is looking at the 26053s, targeting the first target at the 58 and second target at the 62. Sorry, I know that the text there is a little skewed because IB low is set right at pretty much right at our TP2, pretty close to it. And they're coming in real strong. Anything on news? Let's see. No, nothing crazy. That was a big tap right there. Now our player just moved right to the 45, or I'm sorry, yeah, the 45s. That doesn't give me a good feeling. A lot sitting right here now, and here. This might be a very quick trade. Very, very quick trade. This guy's been dancing around. Don't like that he placed it right at the 45s. Don't like that at all. This is getting more interesting by the minute, because IB now is going to be set right above our TP1, okay? So there's obviously going to be a lot of liquidity, a lot of volume sitting right here at the IB low. They got a pocket at the 50s, which is right underneath our entry. And then they got a huge pocket at the 45s. So again, it's kind of a dicey spot here for our entry at the 26.053. Granted, TP1 is pretty small. It's only 5 points. So I could maybe with a limit order you can get in real quick, and you could take TP1 and TP2, but there's always this big chance of them sweeping this out at the 45s. That to me actually makes the most sense right now. I'd rate this setup right now probably a B. And I'd like to see more strength come in at the 53s, 52, 51, which I'm not seeing right now. Well, the 50s are. They would normally, the kind of volume that's sitting at the 50s, normally would be a great setup. But the 45s are just stacked. But let's see what they want. I mean, they're going to have to close out their auctions at the 160s. Makes the most sense to me. It's the only place that they really have to the top side that they can close out their auction. But there's just so much juicy stuff sitting down here that... a lot going on right here. IB low. Big volume player right here. He's been kind of dancing around. Let's see what they want to do. Thanks, Mike. I would appreciate a like on the stream. That's funny. I like that. No, they're... well, yeah, they kind of coincide. Michael, they do coincide with areas of high volume, high liquidity right now. You know, and it's... I've got these set at places where I think they need to displace either previous business or auctions that they've already completed or started to close out. So these are, but they also obviously do coincide with the level 2 book map. All right, 2 minutes for IB to be set. Gives me 2 minutes to refresh my coffee. Yeah, so if there's the order book's very light, very, very light. They're in a fair value area right now, so like I said, I think they did enough right here to wanted to finish off at the 160s. That's just my preliminary. Or they can just retest here, and then finally make a push to the 160s. But with volume being so light right now, you know, you can get a big move, get a big sweep right here. It's just a very dicey area right here. And I finally stepped in a little bit. Some volume finally showing up. Which might be what they need. Defending the 130 is pretty good. So they started putting up some roadblocks right here now. That could be what it needs. That could be the fuel that it needs. I guess I'll talk about the stream a little bit. Hopefully you guys are happy with the stream, happy with the format, and how I kind of laid it out. I hope I'm bringing some value to some traders. I think you guys have already seen in the last almost 2 weeks how high quality setups that I map out each morning. Very little drawdown is what I'm looking for, and very high win rate. So hopefully you guys are seeing that at firsthand. And then there's some things that I want to get a little, excuse me, a little better on. Is I've got some plans with. I'd like to get Bookmap on here. I think I told you guys what happened to me Thursday maybe of last week in the evening. I tried adding Bookmap, and threw off all my scenes. This one, the footprint scene, and I almost shit my pants, to be honest with you. So I'd like to do that. I'd like to get that set up. Just trying to incorporate little things, you know, little things at a time. And then I'd like to see what the impact is. And I'd like to get gold up on here. That's another one that I'd like to incorporate. So it would look pretty similar. It would, you know, I would have a chart up here for gold. I'd have my footprint for gold, and we can at least take a look at setups there. So that's the second thing that I want to do. And I still haven't hit the record button on my streaming software. I'm just scared to do it. I know the computer can handle it. I've just been afraid to actually hit the start recording button. Granted, I know you can go back in and watch the stream, but most people don't even, you know, the replay. They usually just fast forward to the actual trades or to the setups. So if I can create a 3 or 4 minute clip at the end of each trading session with the trades that we took or the setups, I think that would help a lot. Thanks, Mike. Thanks, Chris. Thanks, Anthony. Thanks, Spence. Funding ticks is at 50%. How come I didn't get the email, man? That's a great deal. Or did I not see it? Take profit. Nothing. Oh, you're right. Funding ticks 50% off. Well, somebody asked me what the best deal was. Funding ticks I've been very happy with. I can 100% go behind that statement. Right now, I'm very, very happy with them. Interesting. All right, let's see if I can make this update here. So it looks like the 26160s is their play. That was kind of easy to spot out. Thanks, Mike, for giving me the heads up on the funding ticks, man. I didn't even see the email this morning. Oh, that's a great deal. 50% off. Nice. All right, made the updates there, so you guys should be able to see that now. Come on, just take out the 160s already. And unfortunately, they didn't leave much down here for me because of this sweep right here. So they didn't really leave anything fantastic. Plus, they need to break structure realistically, like right at the IB high, which we're going to get a reaction anyways. So let's just see if the market does what I think it's going to have to do. And like I say this every day, guys, but the market does the exact same thing every single day. There's no hidden cryptic formula for it. No fluky, no trades yet. Yeah, so key as far as the numbers. So I think what the issue is that when I'm in this screen right here, which is my main trading screen, the numbers obviously are, I think they're clear. You know, they get a little bit bigger. I could make these bigger. I definitely could make the label bigger. Maybe that would help. It's just it looks, when the labels get much bigger, when TP1 and TP2 are really close to each other, that starts to look pretty funky. But I think the issue lies when I switch over to this guy, which is my trading floor. That's got the got the footprint confirmation, then that's when everything starts to get kind of condensed, which I don't really have a solution for as of right now, but I'll keep looking at it. And I don't necessarily know what better color I can get than a white on a black background. I don't know if yellow would do it. All right, so market's conducting a bunch of business here. I'll probably make a tap into the 60s. There you go. There you go. That's the auction theory playing out in real time with very detailed commentary as to what I think that they need to do. This over here, and this over here is very unpredictable. Very, very unpredictable. But here and here is very predictable as to what they want to do. How they get there can destroy you. That's the problem. That's why I'm not a directional momentum style trader. That's just not my MO, because how they get there could be very, very different. A lot of pockets that form. They want to balance them out. You can't sustain the drawdown. You're out of a trade. That's just not that's not my style. So I guess I can knock this guy off and knock this guy off. All right, chart's getting a little clean. So what now? Let's see what the 220s. Nah. 200s. Light. 200s light. Now from here, what they do is a different proposition, because now they've formed a bunch of levels, intermediate levels with a lot of different pockets. So, you know, it gets a little dicey there. Yeah, Key, I see the numbers clear as day on my screen. I see them clear as day. Again, maybe I can go up maybe like one font size. Is that the right word? Font size? I think so. One font size, maybe that'll help. But I think on the on this screen, I don't know what I could do. I don't know what I could do with these, because it's condensed, because the actual chart then starts getting condensed. But I'll look at options. I'm trying to get better each day. So now the ES pushed right back into this high volume pocket. It just didn't make enough of a move for me to really find anything in this area right here. It's actually pretty junky. It's junky. Excuse me. Oh. I think so, yes. Key. Michael, it's a great question, and I did say, I think somebody asked me that, I don't know, maybe Monday or Friday of last week. I have never actually taken an IB setup on the ES, nor have I really ever mapped it out. I would bet my, I don't know, I would be very confident in saying that the exact same setup here on the NQ plays out on the ES. But I can throw this indicator on the ES, at least on the footprint chart, and then I can start to monitor that. And the last thing that I think I was going to mention to you guys with the stream, so I've already kind of gone over some of the things that I have in the works, you know, which include the book map, getting a screen up here for book map, adding gold, hitting the record button, which I know I can do, but I don't know why I'm so scared doing it. And so those are the three main things. But I think the one thing that hopefully people appreciate is that the setups are being shown, in some cases, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour before the setups happen. And I think that that's something lost on YouTube in general, traders in general. You know, they'll just pop in when they want, or pop into a trade when they want. And it seems to differ every single time, or at least you've got an opportunity to chart up your setup and take the trade if you want or not. You know, it's your decision. So in that respect, I think that that's a big difference. So what's the play here now? What is the play here? The 200s look inviting to them. This looks kind of crappy right now. Well, we could see a quick sweep to IB high. That would be dirty, but they could do it. I can't scroll too high because then I get the spider web in my... I guess I can move it up a little bit. I don't know. I thought it would be something kind of festive to do for Halloween. There you go, Key. would be dirty. 120. Let's see. Come on, NQ. All right, let's take a look here. So now on the ES, similar story to before. You know, what I was looking for was hopefully a bigger dump, but now I don't really see any unbalanced volume here that I would like to take a setup on. The next area that I'd be interested in is this pocket right here that they just displaced out of. But again, I'd need to see some structure being broken up by the 6910s to the 6918s for them to tap into this. Just kind of just an ugly area. Sure does. Not sure if your EMA would have caught up to this trade yet, but if you get a nice push to the downside, yeah. The real estate market in general, that's the first, I think, real estate related question. You're talking to an expert. I've been doing this for 23 years. And in that span of time, I think I've sold over 1,200 homes. The real estate market right now is unbalanced, if I use a trading term. It is... We're still a relatively low inventory situation in real estate. The higher priced, higher market, higher end homes are starting to see a bigger market time. So that starts to swell, has been swelling a little bit. Just not moving as quickly, more price reductions. But in the median price point for homes, which I guess in Chicago would be around the 350 mark, those are just, they still fly off the shelves. So, you know, we got rates now that have been coming down, and that's kind of stirring a little bit. And we're a very seasonal based here, at least in Illinois and Chicago. Where now I'm starting to kind of go into, well, maybe a little closer to December. We start going into kind of the slow months until February. And then in February, the market usually just heats up, which is freezing cold outside, so go figure. But in general, I mean, it's all supply and demand. It's the same market theory as trading. I mean, if the demand is high and the supply is low, the prices aren't going to come down. If rates come down, you get a lot of sellers that have very attractive rates currently that would be now willing to list their home for sale. But it's kind of like a catch-22. Every scenario that plays out in the real estate market right now is a catch-22. One thing that gets helped gets hurt. And it's not a balanced market. So right now the sellers are in complete control. So they have the upper hand. The second that reverses and buyers then start getting because starts becoming a buyer's market, you know, that's when I think we need that to balance out our real estate market in general. Yeah, key. You know, in 2017, several very large institutions came into our market and purchased up a lot of our inventory. And those have pretty much all turned into rentals. So that's they own a very big share of the real estate market in general. I was hearing some stat that I think it said it was over 50%, which sounds a little crazy to me, but that's exactly it. So BlackRock in our market was labeled Invitation Homes, and they came into our market and purchased an absolute boatload. So what happens there is then obviously you've got, it starts to increase demand because the supply of homes start to get dried up, especially if they're keeping them as rentals long term, which makes sense at the prices that they were buying it at. Let me see, what is the what's going on at the 6889? Let me switch over to the ES here. Kind of low probability setup, very low probability setup, just because of the fact that I'd like to see more market movement. That's, I think, entry. It just, we didn't get enough of a big move there. Let's just see what's happening at the 6889s. So the 90s are defended, but then it kind of drops off here. We don't really have a big level of defense here behind us, unless they start stepping in. like to see them at least break the 6910s before tapping into here. So then I think we probably start to see a little bit more defense here. So I would need to see, want to see them take out, yeah, like the 6910s for this to become a much better quality setup. Billy Joe, yeah. The 5 and the 15 is where majority of my setups come from. And then I kind of refine on the 1. And I do have them, yes, marked out. So the blue is fair value, and then I believe it's gray that's my high and low volume areas. Zero defense down here. Very low probability setup. Very, very low probability setup. Like I said, for this to be attractive to me, I would want to see them take out the 6910s at least. If they were to take out the 6918s, even better. But since we got really nothing going on, we'll just leave this up and see how they react. You'll see them dancing around TP1. Probably make a sweep pretty close. I'm sorry, this is not TP. Yeah, TP1. And then they'll make a sweep very close to our entry. That would be your only opportunity here. And that's a dicey opportunity. So how I see this playing out is you might get a sweep, maybe a point above our entry, could possibly tap into our entry. But then if it churns here, it can make a swipe to the downside because there's nothing. There's not much volume. There's not much volume sitting underneath here. There's honestly not a ton sitting above it. They may just go right to the like 90s, 91 area, and then possibly take out TP1 and 2. Very low probability setup. I would not be put it on here just because it's what I like, but it's not. I prefer them taking this area out. The 18s or the 10s first. And it makes a lot more sense to me. Footprint candle should be pretty interesting here. All right, so they got pretty close to that 91 number. Let's see. All right, that almost played out like I said. 91s, I said you could probably would sweep the TP1 and TP2 there. Now you could get a very quick sweep down to like the 90s. That might tap you in at the 68, 89s, but if they start churning here, this could be a free fall. Which is why I don't necessarily love it at all. You'd have to see some type of really fantastic footprint confirmation here at the 89s for it to be worth the setup. Very low probability. I think you would see a quick sweep, a strong sweep. I don't think it would be dancing around here too long. Nothing going on in the NQ. Acting kind of funny right here. What are you trying to do, ES? You trying to take this? The 97s? Where's the 97s? No, it's not the 97s. Yeah, the 97, 68, 97. Right here. Okay. It's interesting to me. 97s. Something that they're going to want. Short term. Okay, 88's filling in a little bit. Okay, that's interesting. Let's see. This is just churning, though. I don't like the churning part of it because it's just balancing everything out. Which does leave me with a bigger target, but... I was expecting some kind of sweep. I might want to finish this out. They closed this one out. This looks... D. D+. Key, are you on my Discord? I think you get a lot of your answers, a lot of your questions answered on Discord. Maybe make things a little easier. If you go to my website, which is robstrades.com, every Sunday I send out my weekly bands and my tradable levels. I'll put that up on the chat so you can see that. And then right on the homepage, there's a box that comes up that will ask for your email and your name. All right, so they did what I thought they would do there. This setup looks like this setup is just not very good at all at this point. Not very good at all. There's really nothing for them to target here. That's my problem now. Let's look at the NQ. Might make a little push here. Let's see, the 08s. 200s. Makes sense. Okay. Your website does not work. I have subscribed 100 times. Micro Moves Traders. I think there's about 1,300 people, man, that if you can send me an email, Or, I mean, send me an email or on my Discord, DM me with your email address and I'll manually input you in. And also make sure you check your spam. Or might go into a spam or junk. I don't know. Paid for it on Discord. So Keith, so you see the Signal group on Discord? You see where all of the signals are posted, right? If that's the case, I think the only thing that you might be missing is those weekly bands and tradable levels. But if you're on the Signal service, I mean, you're getting those almost daily, so that's the most updated information. The only difference is if you join the signals through YouTube, you have to send me an email or DM me in Discord giving me your YouTube user ID for you to be added into the signals. If you sign up through Discord, you're automatically granted access into that channel. So Micro Moves Trader, if you can, on YouTube. Here, I'll just put in my email address right here. There's my email address if you want to send me an email or respond to it with your email address, and I'll manually put you in. Or I'll take a look and see if you're already in there. Maybe it's just going to spam or something. But I'll be able to see once I see your email. And again, those come out on Sundays. Oh. Well, who would have thunk it that Halloween would have turned into the most uneventful trading morning? Would like to finish off October in the green. Took one losing day this month. On Monday. And it was by a freaking tick. I know I'm still talking about that stupid IB trade that I got hit by a tick, but that's the sucker that turned me red. But such is life. So I'll throw this up on screen. That's the loser right there, that Monday. You bastard. But overall, really good month. 95% day win rate, 75% win rate. Not bad. And that's just on cash. That's not none of my funded accounts. I don't have any of that attached to that. That's Ninja Trader Live main and secondary. I know. 69s are defended with all guns. Yeah. think I mapped out the 69, right? Or not mapped out, but I think I thought I put something up here. Or maybe I had it before on the sweep. I don't remember. Be right back. Great quote, Casey. As traders, we're not paid for our time. We are paid for our opportunities. That's a great one. I like that. Na. There's a little absorption there. 116 contracts, 130, 140. This closes red. They can definitely make a sweep. Well, they stepped in at the 89s. Right at our entry. They did step in. There's the tap. And a lot of negative delta. As close as green, man, you could make a very good case for a long here. Oh boy, let's see what happens here. Like I said, I got nothing below me, which is a little unfortunate, but they did step in. Let's see what's... So the only thing they really need to balance right now very quickly would be the 90s, 91. That's only a point. And then after that, TP2 looks pretty inviting. But so does all this down here, which kind of sucks. You know what, I'm going to take inviting. It's going to be tiny, tiny, tiny trade, but that's going to be high probability. I might want to get out of this guy. I wouldn't mind seeing this going down to like the 87s, but not much more than that. So that could have been the last layer of defense there. Let's see if it's enough. Don't retest. Don't retest that one. Don't retest. Okay. Tiny. What a tiny little tot. Tiny little tot. TP2 is unbalanced. TP1's pretty balanced. TP1. I say they have to balance out TP2. You know you need it. I'd be shocked if they leave this alone by, well, what was this? 93, so about 2 ticks there. It just seemed like this would be the perfect little spot for them to balance out. Let's look at the footprint here. Might get a decent footprint confirmation right here. Targeting the TP1 right again. Not the greatest footprint confirmation, but decent enough to, I think, get you TP1 again. And TP2, like I said, they left that unbalanced. That still needs to get closed out. At least in my mind. We'll see. Yeah, they're stepping in. Your defense is at the 87s. And you can almost get into this trade again. Can make a case for this one again. Not the absolute greatest footprint confirmation, but a decent one. Especially on a retest. I'd almost like to see them tap back into the 87. The 87, you're probably going to get some good absorption here. That might be the fuel that it needs for TP2. Let's see. Let's just see what it does here. There you go. There's the big absorption. No footprint candle there. No footprint confirmation. I don't think they tapped right into the 87s yet. Let me get rid of this guy here. Buyers are strong. Buyers are strong. Yeah, you could definitely make a case for TP1 again and TP2. All right, there's the sweep. There's the sweep. Could still go for the 86s even. A lot of negative delta. Green candle here will look very, very inviting, but they just kind of blew through that one. Let's see. Wow. Wow, did they do a lot of business right there. They did a lot of business right there. That could be a big dump now. Big old dump. Let's take a look now on the NQ. That might be what they needed to break free here. Interesting, interesting, interesting. Hmm. Slow down, NQ, just a little bit. Slow down just a tad here. All right, so let me just give you what my thoughts are here. If you guys were looking at the ES footprint chart there, right around that stop loss area, they just did an absolute huge absorption, 570 contracts there. So that was a lot of fuel for this big push down below. Now, the issue here becomes on our setup down here. Yeah, kind of multiple things kind of going on. So try to follow along here. So we got IB low in between our TPs for this setup on the NQ at the 26053s, right? So we know that we're going to have a good amount of volume, right, sitting at the IB low. And we've got a big volume pocket sitting right down here around this 26040s to 045 area. So you've got two different distinct possibilities here. One would be a play right off of the IB. The second would be the play off of our setup on the NQ. You might even be able to combine these two trades setups into one. Problem being, if you're taking a resting order at the IB low, which I don't recommend, but if that's the way you want to do it, because I have said that's your easiest way to trade it, 15 points stop, 15 points TP, I don't necessarily know that you're going to have the room. Let's see. Right about here. That's about 18 points. So you don't have... Crapper. You don't have the room on a resting limit order to kind of have this as a defense. You only have this as your defense right here around the 50s, the 26050s. It might be enough. And it might be enough for a great setup on this long at the 26053s. But this setup just becomes a little bit more complicated because of the fact that you've got a lot of things going on at the exact same area. And if I update, so these 40s are strong and the 50s. So this circle and this circle are very, very interesting for the market. And the market, of course, is going to have very interested at this IB low because that's where they usually stack up their volume as well. So it's not the easiest setup in the world here. 68.75. 68.75. You're playing with fire at the 75s. Very sweepy there, so you just got to be real careful there. Be very careful there. So if we just jump back to the ES, and I just deleted the lines. Son of a gun. I mentioned very emphatically that it was a very low probability setup, not a lot of defense below us. So there was a lot of factors in there that I did not like. Did get a great footprint confirmation and was very conservative with my TP on that one, which was tiny. I mean, I'm up 262 for the day. Whoa. What is going on? Well, this is, let me see. Any news come out? Fed dated OES trims December rate cut odds to about 50%. Oh, that was an hour ago. Something had to have, I mean, that was nutty. When my PC starts to blow out a lot of air, I know that the markets are very jumpy. Holy, Bookmap is crazy. Something had to come out. Trump tweet. All right. Shit, I don't have my accent. Wow. Careful, everybody. Careful. Careful. Damn it, I didn't have my X up. Let me see here. I wouldn't be surprised if they sweep IB low or high very quickly, just because that's where it's a lot sitting there. Let's see what's going on here. That just got really interesting. Really fast. Come on, man. Hurry up. Guys, I don't think I need to tell you this, but at this point, you got to be, I mean, anything down here with the volatility that we're having right now is very dicey. So you got to be extremely careful right here. I don't see what. I don't see anything. I mean, what tweet are we talking about here? I don't see anything crazy going on. $10:46. The meeting with China was incredible. Okay, well. All right, go figure. Very careful. Very, very careful here, people. Oh, my guess. Okay. No, I didn't see. I wasn't looking at the chat. I was kind of busy looking, going onto my. I usually have my X up open, but I did not. So I wasn't the delay in the stream. I just wasn't looking at the chat. but I will not start renegotiations with Canada. Oh boy. That just came out right now. Oh boy. Hold on. Hold on. I'm hands off, just so everybody knows. I'm going to be hands off right here. This is just, this is very low probability at this point. Funny ticks. The ones that I use are the funded, the instant funded. So it's called Zero, and I'm on the 50K accounts with them. So there's no evaluation that you have to pass. You just have to hit your profit goal. Now, woo-wee! That just swiped IB. Let's see, was there... Oh, good footprint confirmation, too. Shit, that was great. I couldn't... I mean, there's no time to get in that one, but... Wow. See, guys, that's just where the... That's where the volume is sitting at. I mean, that's where it needed to... that's where it needed to hit. Holy moly. Guacamole. Let me see if I can pull up that... Right here. This... I think I moved the entry. Shit. This was your footprint confirmation right here. I mean, good luck. Good luck being that fast, even though I did see it. Right there. Green footprint confirmation right at the IB. Right at the IB. Just works. And I think I might have messed up my entry on this here. I don't know if I did or not. Anybody confirmed the entry at 26.053.50? Because I felt like I moved this blue line when I was looking at my footprint chart. Initial balance is the IB. That's the first hour of the market. IB low, IB high have a very high amount of volume sitting at them always. And as a volume-based trader, that's what I'm really interested in. Man, that would have been a great one right there. Those damn tweets came out right at the wrong time. And we swept pretty damn close to our entry. So if you guys remember, on the different type of possibilities, you know, that was definitely one of them right there where, you know, I thought you could possibly get a sweep to your entry and it could be like a twofer. But, all right, let's see. And let me just see if they left anything above us. They kind of did, right? Oh, no, that... Yeah, they just came right up to my area that I had marked off. So I had marked this off here before this candle came through. And they just, man, did they just sweep right through that, right to that. It's just so repeatable. Let's see now here. Let's see what they've left in their wake. Interesting. What's going on at the 26,118? No, not a lot. Not a lot. This could have been a lot of this garbagey move. Or this could have been a lot of that volatility move. Not a huge... I don't put a lot of weight on movements in and out with high impact news. Because you're so many people are just market ordering in. And big positions, so it's very difficult for them to leave really good clues. So the shaded area I could see them having a reaction to, which is that 26,118 to the 126. I could find a decent entry. I could give you guys a TP1 and a TP2 and a stop loss. But again, it's off that volatility from news, and I don't think the setup becomes very high probability at that point. Key, not all areas, not all levels are created equal. You know, just because you see, and I'm just assuming, but just because you see high volume nodes on the volume profile, that doesn't necessarily mean that all areas are what they're interested in. If you can spot where the big movements come out of, that's where they have conducted. They opened an auction, so there's unbalanced volume sitting there, just like right here. There's unbalanced volume sitting here, but it's kind of junky just because of the fact that it originated from that headlines that were just popping up, where the market volatility just increased pretty dramatically. Now this setup, let me just take a look really quick as far as the 053s. Oh, that's not bad. Not bad. You got a big market player right here sitting at the 50s, and he's been sitting here for a while, but he's also been jumping around, so it's very hot right now. Very hot with volatility right now. It's exciting. It's the most exciting thing we've seen all day. Whee! That tapped in. Oh, you got a good footprint confirmation. Shit. So TP1 got hit very quickly. Very quickly. They swept exactly where I thought they were going to sweep to. I don't think you got TP2 yet, though. You were probably about 2 points away from TP2. But that's probably coming right now. There you go. TP2 and TP1 and TP2. Resting limit order right there. I mean, that just happened, played out. The whole entire sequence of events played out exactly how I thought it would. The sweep right to this number, that was your level of defense. TP1, TP2, it hit. Beautiful. Hit the like on the stream, guys. Drop this every day for you guys. Every single day. Wow, that was exciting. Most excitement I have without making a profit. But that, I'm telling you, when you see the market clearly, volume just doesn't lie. Does not lie. There's a big pocket right here at the 40s. They could probably close that out there. That was fun. That was fun. Let's take a screenshot of that guy. Got a lot of lines going on here, but... yeah, that was a nice one. I got both. Beautiful. Wow. Great job, guys. All right, guys, I think I'm calling it for the day. Ended off October green every day minus Monday. And I'm not going to say it again, but you guys know what happened on Monday. Have a great Halloween. Hit the like button on the stream before you guys jump off. I super appreciate that. Super appreciate the support. I know that the regulars are here every day, and I really love that. I'll try to work on some things over the weekend. Obviously, I got my levels, my bands, and my tradable levels that come out on Sunday. And again, some great deals running on the prop firms right now. You've got Take Profit at 40% off. Funding Ticks announced 50% off. And Tradeify is 45% off. So just use code TraderRob if you guys are even thinking about doing it. If not, no big deal. We'll be back at it. We'll be back at it on Monday, guys. Hope you guys have a fantastic weekend. Take care. $4,000 profit trading here with you this week. Thanks, Rob, and congrats on just one losing day for the month. Absolutely amazing. Awesome. That's great to hear, man. Great to hear. Great to hear that it's helping a few people out. Michael, have a great weekend. Everyone have a great weekend. I'm working on it, Steve, with the recordings. I'm just scared shitless of pressing the record button. I got to get over my fear of doing it. Everything's just working so smoothly that I don't want to throw a wrinkle into it. But I know I have to do it because I would love to post those quick little snippets on the trades there. But like I said,